Motorcycle mechanics work on motorcycles, scooters, mopeds, dirt bikes, and all-terrain vehicles. In this video, we're going to help you answer the question, should you become a motorcycle mechanic in 2021? We're going to go over the latest salaries, job market statistics, and the latest trends. Coming up. Hey everyone, Stephen Hack here with Career Watch, where I help you with your career search. If you end up enjoying the video, hit that thumbs up to support the channel. All the charts and graphs used in this video are available at my blog, which is at careerwatch.co/blog/motorcycle mechanic. Motorcycle mechanics have several roles and responsibilities. They mount, balance, and change tires. They examine various vehicle frames and determine damage after incidents. They replace defective parts using various tools. They test various vehicle components during and after a repair. And they repair and replace other parts such as headlights, horns, handlebar controls, gasoline or oil tanks, starters, and or mufflers. So what is the average salary of a motorcycle mechanic? Well, this first set of data is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It doesn't include commissions, benefits, and overtime. It only includes base salaries. Compared to similar occupations, motorcycle mechanics make a little bit more than automotive body and glass repairers. By average base salary, they are out-earned by aircraft mechanics, auto mechanics, diesel mechanics, and motorboat mechanics. Of this group of occupations, aircraft mechanics tend to make the most, but they are definitely hurting right now due to the COVID pandemic. Motorcycle mechanics have seen their base salaries increase over the years. In 1999, the average base salary was around $26,000 per year. Every single year, the average base salary has increased, and in 2019, the average base salary was recorded at around $40,000 nationwide. Over about 2 decades, wages grew by about $15,000 or about $700 per year. If we were to take this average yearly wage growth, but in 2021, the average base salary would be around $42,000 per year. And then by 2029, the average base salary would rise to around $47,000 per year as a base salary. The other thing to keep in mind is geography definitely plays a role in the compensation of motorcycle mechanics. In this map, the darker the blue, the higher the income for motorcycle mechanics. The lowest paying state, West Virginia, on average pays motorcycle mechanics a base salary of around $30,000 per year, and the highest paying state is the state of Nevada, on average, which pays motorcycle mechanics around $51,000 per year. So there's actually a $21,000 difference between wages for motorcycle mechanics in West Virginia versus wages in Nevada. Other high-paying states for motorcycle mechanics include the state of California, the state of Georgia, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Minnesota, and the state of Washington. The cool part about this is usually high wages are associated with higher cost of living, but the state of Nevada and the state of Georgia, they're both high paying states for motorcycle mechanics. They don't necessarily have as high a cost of living as, say, California and New York. Other low paying states include New Mexico, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and South Dakota. Also, as motorcycle mechanics gain more and more experience, they tend to make more money. A starting salary for a motorcycle mechanic nationwide would probably be around $25,000 per year. This is the 10th percentile, whereas someone that lives in a hot job market and or has a lot of experience, the top 10% of motorcycle mechanics earn $60,000 per year. They start at $60,000 per year and they kind of go up from there. So up to this point, we've talked about employed motorcycle mechanics. Those are the mechanics that the government surveys every year, employed motorcycle mechanics. We haven't talked about the self-employed. So regarding the self-employed, when we compare motorcycle mechanics with other occupations, motorcycle mechanics, about 9% of them own their own business. Meanwhile, about 13% of auto mechanics own their own business, and about 17% of aircraft mechanics own their own business. On average, more motorcycle mechanics own their own business than both diesel mechanics and automotive body and glass repairers. So almost about 1 in 10 motorcycle mechanics own their own business. And that's definitely one way motorcycle mechanics can earn more money, is by owning their own shop. Next up is, what is the job market like for motorcycle mechanics? Is this a hard occupation to get a job in? The first thing to keep in mind is this is a very small niche occupation. There's only about 16,000 employed motorcycle mechanics nationwide. There are far more aircraft mechanics, slightly more automotive body and glass repairers. There are far more auto mechanics, far more diesel mechanics, and there's a little bit more motorboat mechanics. So this is a very, very small occupation. The big risk of going into a small niche occupation is sometimes you have to cross state lines in order to find job opportunities. Job opportunities aren't going to be as plentiful as if you were an auto mechanic. Also, there hasn't been much job growth over the past 2 decades. In 1999, there was 11,390 employed motorcycle mechanics. This grew to 16,850 in 2008. Then during the Great Recession, the number of employed fell. 2,000 jobs were lost between 2008 and 2010. By 2019, the number of employed slightly grew to 15,590 employed. So over about 2 decades, there was a growth of about 4,000 employed, which comes out to about 200 jobs per year. Meanwhile, the government is forecasting a 4% increase in the number of employed over the next 10 years. By 2029, they're expecting around 16,000 employed motorcycle mechanics. So that's what the government is forecasting, but what is going on right now? How many job postings are there for motorcycle mechanics right now? Well, I usually like to use Indeed.com. Indeed is a very popular job search engine in the United States. It pulls in job postings from many different sources. When you search for motorcycle mechanic, motorsports tech, bike builder, scooter mechanic, and very similar occupations, we found about 170 job openings across the United States. So there's around 170 job postings, and there's about 16,000 employed. This gives us 1 job opening on Indeed.com per 92 employed motorcycle mechanics. This means there's definitely not a shortage. Usually when I see a ratio of 1 to 15 or below, that indicates a shortage. But given there's only 170 job postings across the country, this is an extremely competitive occupation, so definitely go into it with your eyes open. So that covers the job market. Would this occupation be compatible with your interests and personality? To determine this, definitely look into taking a RIASEC assessment. There's free ones all across the internet. A RIASEC assessment is an interest inventory. You take this assessment about your interests, and then you get scores in 6 different themes. With motorcycle mechanics, they tend to score really, really high in the realistic theme. People that score high in the realistic theme love working with their hands, they love being outdoors, and they love building things. They also tend to be reliable, practical, thrifty, and persistent. So if you also score really high in the realistic theme, this occupation might be compatible with your interests. We can also look at the Myers-Briggs personality types that tend to work as mechanics. According to the Myers-Briggs company, people that work as mechanics tend to have these personality types. 15% of mechanics surveyed had the ISTP personality type, which is also known as the crafter. 15% had the ISTJ personality type, the inspector. About 13% ESTJ, the director, and about 10% ESTP, which is the persuader. So one great thing about becoming a motorcycle mechanic is the barrier to entry is pretty low. About 13% of motorcycle mechanics just have a high school diploma, 82% have a high school diploma with some kind of certificate, and about 5% have an associate's degree. So the barrier to entry to become a motorcycle mechanic doesn't require a bachelor's degree or any higher education. So as you can see, there are pros and cons to becoming a motorcycle mechanic in 2021. Motorcycle mechanics are out-earned by aircraft mechanics, diesel mechanics, and auto mechanics. They have had okay wage growth over the past 20 years, earning about $700 more every single year. About 9% of motorcycle mechanics own their own business. This is slightly less than auto mechanics and aircraft mechanics as well. The job market for motorcycle mechanics is pretty challenging and pretty fierce. This is a very small niche occupation. There aren't as many employed as auto mechanics, aircraft mechanics, and many other similar occupations. Also, as of today, there's only about 170 job postings on Indeed.com across the United States. So there aren't very many job postings compared to the number of employed. Are you a motorcycle mechanic? What do you enjoy about this occupation, and what do you dislike about this occupation? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.